મૂર્તિમાં કેમ રહ્યું હે અને એને આપણે કેમ એબ્ઝોર્બ કરી. તો એ okay. Last time we talked about energy and how it's stored in the temple atmosphere and murtis. So are we feeling this energy? What do you think? Maybe some of you, maybe not. So in order to understand or explain this further, we look at 5 elements. We need to look at the 5 elements: Prithvi, Jal, Tej, Vayu, Akash. But today we'll mostly be looking at only water. We'll look a little bit into energy. What is this energy stuff? Newton's law of conservation: energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be transferred. આ બધા પ્રાઇમરીમાં કે સેકન્ડરીમાં ભણ્યું હશે. એનર્જી ક્યારેય ડિસ્ટ્રોય નથી થતી, ઓનલી ટ્રાન્સફર થાય. Taking the scientific law in mind, we need to transfer or absorb the energy from the Lord and the atmosphere into us. But to take this energy, we need to have right container, way to store it. So to store the energy, we need to have the right container, in this case, which is our body. The body is made up of, again, 5 elements: Prithvi, Jal, Vayu, and Tej. So again, we'll only be looking at the water element. Let's understand what this water is. Different age group have different level of water. Kids have about 75% of water in their body. Adults about 60%. And aged ones about 50% in their body. All our body, all the cells, tissues and organs in our body mainly comprises of water. Baddama pani hai. Our brain consists of about 75% of water. And it controls the body's process by sending and receiving signals through nervous system. So water is the main medium કે જેનાથી આખી નર્વસ સિસ્ટમ કંટ્રોલ થાય. બ્રેઇન આખી નર્વસ સિસ્ટમ કંટ્રોલ કરે. Our body contains tiny messenger called transporter protein. Transporter protein જે છે એ બધો મેસેजेस સેલ્સ અને ઓર્ગન્સ કને લઈ જાય ને પાછે બ્રેઇન કને લઈ આવે. Therefore the purity of the carrier affects the speed and the clarity of the signal. કેટલું પ્યોર છે પાણી બોડીમાં, it affects the clarity and the signal. If the fluid inside the body, which is mostly water, is polluted with other chemicals and toxic metals, what's the result then? Obviously delayed and distorted signal. So, હવે કેરિયર હરખું ન હોય તો ઓબ્વિયસલી મેસેજ હરખો નથી આવતો, રાઇટ વે નથી પહોંચતો. This could be one of the reasons why we could be forgetting. You remember lot of time કે ઘણી ફેર એમ થાયું કે હું ભૂલી આવ્યો યાદ નથી રહ્યું. This is one of the reason કે તમે enough પાણી નથી પીતા અને which is પાણી has to be pure. Since we have identified that water is the major component of the body and how it affects the nervous system, let's look at one of its major property. Water accepts and saves any outside influences. Water cells acts as memory cells and record entire history of the interaction. જેમ પહેલે કીધું આજે આપણે મોસ્ટલી વોટર ઉપર વાત કરશું કેમ કે this is daily, we take it every now and then, water. હવે વોટરમાં મેમરી હોય. Due to the memory storage property, it also has feelings. Look at the shapes of molecules in different situations. So ઉપર ફોટો ઉપર જોશો તો કમ્પેરિઝન જ્યારે કમ્પેરિઝન આમાં શું કરેલું હોય જે સાયન્ટિસ્ટે ડિસ્કવર કર્યું આ વસ્તુ એ પાણીને ગ્લાસમાં રાખી અને એન્વાયરમેન્ટમાં જેમ કે લાસ્ટ ટાઈમ અજીતભાઈએ બતાવ્યું હતું રાઈસ હતા તો એકને હેટ કરતા હતા એકને લવ કરતા હતા એવી જ રીતે આ પાણીનો ગ્લાસ હોય એને લવથી જોવે પેશનથી જોવે હેટરેટથી જોવે તો યુ કેન સી કમ્પેન્શન થેન્ક યુ વિઝડમ આવું રેગ્યુલર એને કહે તો એના મોલિક્યુલર જે ફોર્મ્સ એ ડિફરન્ટ થઈ જાય અંદર ઇન્ટરનલી. When you look at the last image, water before and after Buddhist prayer. So the bottom one is before. Look at the molecule, the way it looks like, and the above, after the prayer, what it looks like. It's totally changed. It's molecular form. Let's look at one of the video for what this water is.
To what extent is water capable of picking up information? What does it perceive? And how does it remember it over time?
The Aerospace Institute in Stuttgart has discovered a relatively simple way of making the structure of a drop of water visible. The researchers have had their efforts rewarded by insights into a very beautiful world. Each drop has a face of its own, unmistakable and unique. Why are the individual drops so different from one another? We got a lot of people to come to a lecture hall here at the Institute, gave them all the same water, had them make drops that accept.
To what extent is water capable of picking up information? What does it perceive? And how does it remember it over time?
The Aerospace Institute in Stuttgart has discovered a relatively simple way of making the structure of a drop of water visible. The researchers have had their efforts rewarded by insights into a very beautiful world. Each drop has a face of its own, unmistakable and unique. Why are the individual drops so different from one another? We got a lot of people to come to a lecture hall here at the Institute, gave them all the same water, had them make drops at exactly the same time, collected all the drops, and then discovered that each individual produced different images from the same water. And here you can see the results. Here on the right you can see that the images of the individual students are different, but those made by a given student are all quite similar. This is the work of the first experimenter, this one here from the second, this from the third, and this from the fourth. Individually they can quite easily be reproduced, but you would never have thought that they were all from the same water, because when you compare the images from the different people, you see some big differences. Then we undertook experiments to find out whether things changed when we put something into the water. A real flower was placed in the water. A while later we took a drop of water, and here you can see one of the pictures. And you can see it in this picture. It's the typical image you get when you put a flower into water. You could recognize the flower in every single drop in this glass, of course. That can be reproduced and has significance. And if you were to put a different flower in here, for example, a Sweet William flower, then all the drops of this water would look like Sweet William. The statement that water has a memory practically changes our whole way of looking at the world, of course. Let's travel down the Rhine in the figurative sense. The water is flowing down the Rhine, picking up information everywhere it goes. So the water has more information at the mouth of the Rhine than it had at the source. And the Dutch, living at the mouth, when they drink that water, they're also drinking all that information. Thus, the world's oceans would no longer be something that separates us, but instead a giant storehouse of information, and the rain would perhaps be a data medium carrying information to the world.
This is Aji Atoi Masaru Emoto, a Japanese engineer, along with a few other German scientists, research karitu. Temati ke water flower ma glass of pani hoy, glass of water ema jare flower rakhe to ena badda molecule flower na shape ma thai jara. So depending on kya baju ma reru su hai, it all affects. So we look further now. Influence of water in our body. Every drop of water that we consume has some form of memory stored in it. Obviously, आपने खबर है कि every glass आप जे कहीं पी रहा, एमा some form of memory अंदर आप consume करी रहा. We drink this every day. That means we consuming all different type of memory, and our body is full of pollutant and impure thoughts. All different memory, different आवे, तो a lot of impurity अंदर आवेरी. As we discussed earlier, water has memory. This memory carries various impurities. With these impurities, it forms almost 70% of our body, since water is the 70% of our body. Let's look at, so હવે આપણે સ્ટોર કરી રહ્યા બોડીના આજે પાણી બોડીમાં જાય ડિફરન્ટ મેમરી અંદર જાય એટલે થાય શું હવે કે ડિફરન્ટ ઇન્ફોર્મેશન આવી ગઈ તો બિફોર વી consume, we need to filter this water to rectify the memory. So how do we go on that purification process? Let's look at the purification process. There are various ways of removing these physical impurities. UV, reverse osmosis, and a cotton cloth. Our main focus is to purify memory of the water. We need to purify water to get rid of all the impurities it has collected through its interaction. But today we will focus mainly on non-physical impurities. Physically, we know we can filter this way and that, but we're looking at non-physical way. So cotton cloth, we'll only look at the cotton cloth because this is the only way we can clear both physical impurities and physical impurities as well. બે રીતે ક્લીન કરીએ કે આ રિસર્ચ બાય મિસ્ટર યોયા વાલી states that a cotton cloth fibers both filters both physical impurities and molecular structure. આ કોટન જે વાપરી એ બે વસ્તુ ક્લીન કરેલું, મોલિક્યુલર સ્ટ્રક્ચર ચેન્જ કરેલું અને ઇમ્પ્યુરિટીઝ ક્લીન કરેલું. ડ્યુ ટુ ધ સ્પિરિચ્યુઅલ પ્યુરિટી ઓફ કોટન, હવે કોટનમાં એક સ્પિરિચ્યુઅલ પ્યુરિટી રહીએ એના હારું કરીને એ શું કરે એટમોસ્ફિયરમાંથી cosmic energy के consciousness energy ने absorb करे. This is what on the side diagram I've put it on what Mrs. Yoya Wali એના પ્રમાણે કે આ જે કોટન ક્લોથ છે એમાં કેવી રીતે એનર્જી absorb કરે. When water molecules passes through the cotton, it acts as a magnet towards its memory and changes its structure. હવે જ્યારે આ વોટર મોલિક્યુલ કોટન થ્રુ પાસ થાય એટલે કોટનના જે મોલિક્યુલ એ મેગ્નેટ ગોણે એટ્રેક્ટ કરે. જે મેમરી આપણે હાર્ડ ડ્રાઈવમાં કે મેગ્નેટ તમે બાજુમાં રાખો ને તો હાર્ડ ડ્રાઈવ બગડી જાય. શું કામ? કેમ કે એનો ડિફરન્સ કરે. એમ આ બી જે મોલિક્યુલ્સ વોટરમાં જે મેમરી રહે એમ કોટન એને એબ્ઝોર્બ કરીને એને ડિસ્ટોર્ટ કરે. તો લેટ્સ ગો નેક્સ્ટ સ્લાઇડ. We look at, but this cotton only a cotton has its ability and it has to be washed daily or a new cloth. So obviously a cotton માં જ થઈ ગયું, બીજામાં નથી થઈ શકતું. બીજું ક્લોથ હોય તો નહીં, only cotton can do this. but it has to be washed and anew. હવે વીક સુધી જો ઘેણું બાંધેલું હોય નળમાં, if that's the case, then it doesn't happen because it won't solve the purpose. Imagine all that dead bodies trapped in that cloth. There's no effect on the water then. Water carriers, હવે આપણે ક્લીન તો કર્યું, ક્લોથથી ક્લીન કર્યું, which most of us all આપણે ડરેરા. Then the next level is vessel. શેમાં આપણે લઈરા. It also affects the molecule of the water. હવે આપણે કેવું કન્ટેનરમાં લઈરા. તો either is it a copper, steel, glass or plastic? Copper is the best product or the best metal considered for water to store in there. So the longer we store in copper, it gets more better. Water carriers also affected by transporting, environment. Environment કેવા environmentમાં હે waterની આજુબાજુમાં શું હોય? It also affects the molecule of the water. Whether it's around the fruits, obviously it's better than the other side. And what sort of people? Now the last stage is નળમાંથી લીધું, ગ્લાસમાં લીધું, કોણ આપેરું? It also affects the molecules. The person giving is the character with the angry nature. It affects the water and that nature comes into us as well. So it also depends on who's giving you and what his condition is. So I think we'll end here now. This is short and simple. I'll leave you with few questions, obviously. During eclipse and Sutak, anything containing water is considered impure. We all know that. Why? I've got no answer. Maybe you have. Do you think we should filter water using the prescribed method and material? This is, I don't know. Now, clean and pure water enhances our ability to absorb the cosmic energy. તો આપણે કોસ્મિક એનર્જી ઉપર જઈ રહ્યા. અહીંયા જે એનર્જી આવે આપણામાં કેમ ફીલ નથી થતી? તો this is one of the way. Water is life, but pure water is eternal life. Water is much more than our life force on a spiritual path. It connects our body to our soul. It connects the devotee to divine. Water is spiritual. So next time when you drink, treat it like one. બસ એ સજાન સાંગલ જાય.